like I would deliver any speech that's near to theirs. So I'm actually very honored to be here for two reasons. One of them is that I'm Turkish, and I was never ever asked to be part of any celebration in April 23rd when I was a kid. So this is really great. And second honoring factor is to be part of this panel, which it's very pleasuring. Okay. Oh, right there. All right, cool. So last year, my wife actually gave a speech on kind of social, what she learned in the social science that brought two countries together, or what we can learn from each other. And when Asil asked me to present, he basically said, well, just talk about your personal experiences and your current project. So, and I just didn't know what personal experience means, so that's why I have just only one slide on that. And I'm just going to say, what has been my personal experience coming from Turkey as a graduate from Gazi University and as a starting student at Penn State for graduate study. It was a shock. Not only cultural shock, but also academic shock. I was a good student, and my fundamentals were okay. But in terms of transferring or coming to this country and facing all the technological advances and facilities was just overwhelming, which kind of diminished over the years. Right now, students come here, and they know exactly what they're going to have. In fact, they know exactly what the streets are like because of the Google map, right? So it's just amazing what the technology introduced to you and how in an advanced place that gets you so that you come here and just the only thing you deal with probably is cultural shock and a little bit of the academic shock. So in that sense, I think two sets of very different universities, kind of research cultures kind of come together over the years. And just like my wife was talking about how two cultures learn from each other, I think academic cultures in both research and education aspects, they can greatly learn from each other. For example, in the United States, we are very much interested and trying to motivate students in terms of goal orientation or in terms of publication in graduate study, in terms of how to get actually funding, for example, writing projects and so on and so forth. The great potential in Turkey with the excellent education and establishing fundamental milestones in the education can actually be a great thing. But what they are missing, for example, is the project writing. What they're missing is, for example, the publications. If you look at the publication record of Turkish universities, it's nowhere near I would expect. I would expect them to be in the top 100. I would expect to see actually just one university in top 100, but we don't see it. So in that sense, I think, like the Ambassador Gazande talked about the success of the undergraduate education and doing the good programs, I think it would go back to Turkish universities in the sense that if somehow we can integrate the research capabilities from the United States back to Turkey, and they would be right there. So everything would then be much easier, like technology transfer and so on and so forth. So I think in that sense, there are a lot of interaction that can be established and it would be very useful. And we, as faculty in the United States, can also greatly benefit from the students who are top of the cream, basically, to come here and kind of incorporate their fundamentals and their enthusiasm and energy to our research goals. So the next, so this is my, I think, personal take on the whole personal experiences stuff. So the next one is, why are we motivated to work and to collaborate with Turkish universities? This is what it is. This is just not a just pretty picture. This is a picture of Istanbul and Bosphorus that is basically the meeting point of Europe and Asia. Not in the cultural sense, but also in the research sense. There's a lot of interesting philosophical depthness of this, actually. So, but for now, we can just take the beauty of this view and kind of get motivated to go and study more and more in Turkish universities and do more collaborative research. And if you actually, for those who are not Turkish, and for those who are grad students here, if you look up your professional meetings, like conferences and so on and so forth, you can definitely find some conference in Turkey and start from there. So that's a great starting point. And what I will talk about now is that what we start at SUNY Albany, which is the missing piece in the joint degree programs with SUNY and Turkish universities, what I have started doing, and with the encouragement of my dean from Glasgow School of Public Health, and the newly established center that's called Center for Global Health. So that's the next slide. The current partners is the SUNY Albany, 2 departments, biostatistics and epidemiology and biostatistics, sociology, Center for Global Health, which is the center within the School of Public Health, Hacettepe University, which is an amazing university, and we are mostly collaborating with the researchers at the medical school, which is top-notch researchers. And Middle East Technical University with the statistics part mostly, and bioinformatics and some of the genetic researchers. And many other universities and research institutions. This is a gradual program, but I think it's going to spread very fast. So in the next slide, I don't know what I'm talking about. This is why Hacettepe. Okay, why Hacettepe? Well, this is the campus. Hacettepe has 2 campuses in Ankara. One is like most other universities. One campus is devoted to what science and other fields. Another campus is devoted to just medical sciences. In this campus, you have the medical schools, a lot of teaching hospitals, and dentistry school, which is a very top-notch school again. It's kind of hard to see what it says, but it's top, and it's one of the most challenging point in this collaboration is the language. So Hacettepe has kind of overcome this problem. They have several medium languages, like English in engineering school. They have excellent English taught medical undergraduate degree. In Turkey, medical school is undergraduate. It's combined undergraduate and 2 years kind of a master's degree, and then they become doctors basically with their residencies and so on. So the researchers are completely up to date. If you look at if you take the Harvard Medical School research and put them in the same room with Hacettepe doctors, they're going to speak the same language. Not just the language English or whatnot, but medicine. In terms of their innovation, their paper writings, and so on and so forth. So it's really great. In fact, my mom had a surgery 4 years ago, and she had a doctor from Hacettepe Medical School, and she was saying, well, he wrote like 50 papers. So it was really interesting that even people, like these people who are not necessarily academics, they know exactly what it takes for them to become experts. And people know Hacettepe doctors are pretty up to date with the scientific innovation. And the second slide, or whatever, what are the main goals? Why are we interested in it? Well, we are essentially, the goal of this place, the center called Center for Global Health, is essentially to prepare a platform where researchers come together and they share their experiences. Phil Nazca I wish he could be here because he has a lot of great insight to the public health problem and how important it is, especially in today's world, where you have one disease and all of a sudden it spread like crazy. So in terms of public health initiatives, this creates an importance to kind of bring the expertise to deal with these diseases and increase the awareness of public health and so on and so forth. And biostatistics plays amazing role in kind of understanding and forming these quantitative summaries of the spread of the drug development, clinical trials, and so on and so forth. And what's missing piece is that, okay, in Turkey, for example, people's theoretical knowledge is excellent. Here is great, but here what we could have done in the United States is to